My mother's hand hovered over the cake when she said it. We were on the back lawn of my parents' ranch outside Boise, kid chatter and hay dust in the air, the horses flicking flies in the distance. Mom sliced the horse-themed cake, passed plates down the row of cousins, laughter bouncing around the picnic tables. She stopped in front of my 9-year-old daughter, Rowan, looked right through her, and said, almost calmly, "She shouldn't be here." Rowan went still. Plates clinked, then silence. No one moved. I did. I slid my hand into hers, felt her small fingers curl tight, and walked us off the porch, past the strings of bunting, past the bounce house slowly wheezing in the heat, down into the dusk at the edge of the pasture. I did not look back. If I had, I knew I'd stay frozen in that moment forever. Before I tell you how the crack in our family finally opened into a doorway, I want one thing from you. Tell me what city you're reading this from. It helps to know who else is out there, choosing themselves over the stories they were handed. 3 weeks earlier, I was in my studio, in the clean quiet that comes just after lunch. Light angled across my drafting table, catching the edges of scale models and pencil shavings. My phone lit with a name I never ignore and never quite welcome. My mother, Laura Keene. "Mara," she said, voice brisk, as if she were continuing a conversation I'd only imagined. "Parker turns 10 next month. We're doing a big party at the ranch. It's been too long. I want the whole family here." Family, in my world, has always come with numbers attached: who gave what, who owed what, who counted. I could see the red barn, the fenced pastures, the house where my brother Alec was groomed like a show horse while I stood just off stage, useful but forgettable. I pictured Rowan, who'd been asking lately why her grandparents never came to her school plays, and I thought of Owen, my husband, gone 6 years because someone ran a red light on a Wednesday. At his funeral, my mother had leaned in so close I could smell her perfume and said, "Rowan isn't really Keene blood. You need to be careful how you raise her," as if love had a pedigree. I walked away that day and never went back. "I don't know, Mom," I started. "It's important," she said. "Parker wants everyone, you and the girl, too." The girl, not Rowan. "Okay," I heard myself say, "we'll come." That night, Rowan ate boxed mac and cheese at the counter, swinging her feet, face glowing. "A real ranch party?" she asked. "With actual cows?" "I'm sure there will be baby cows just for you," I said. She grinned so wide I could see the gap from her last lost tooth. We packed Hope in with our toothbrushes and pointed the car toward the past. In the weeks before the party, our kitchen table turned into Rowan's art studio. She spread out cardstock, horse stickers, glitter, and a glue stick that left everything slightly tacky. She built a pop-up gate on a homemade card, with a cake behind it and Parker's name in careful block letters. I sat beside her answering emails, pretending not to watch her build an offering to a family that had never really claimed her. I called Theo, the friend who has watched me unravel and stitch myself back together more than once. "Tell me you're not actually going," he said. "I am," I said, "for Rowan." "Then wear boots," he said, "and boundaries." Later, scrolling through my phone in bed, I opened a PTA group email I usually ignored. Our PTA president, Lorna, had attached a quarterly reimbursement sheet. Tidy lines, amounts $3,000 here, $5,000 there, paid to an account ending in 4 digits. My eyes recognized immediately. The same numbers on the checks she'd given me for fundraiser supplies. No receipts, just trust. Something in me slid into place, an internal lock finally turning. I flagged the email and went to sleep with Rowan's glitter still stuck to my hands. At breakfast, Rowan and I practiced names like vocabulary words: Granddad, Uncle Alec, Aunt Wren, Parker. We turned the family tree into a chant until she giggled and tried tiny curtsies. "Do ponies like apples with the peels on?" she asked. "They like them however you bring them," I said. Saturday, the ranch looked like a movie set. Banners on the rails, a bounce house slumping in the corner, the smell of wood smoke and hot dogs. Mom hugged me the way you press a stamp on a letter firm, impersonal, then guided Rowan to a crooked folding chair at the very end of the kids' table, half in the shade, half in the gravel. Praise poured toward Alec and his glossy children, all matching shirts and practiced charm. When Rowan lined up for pony rides with the others, Mom's hand appeared on her shoulder. "Those boots aren't broken in," she said. "Why don't you try the petting zoo instead?" While Parker jogged triumphant circles on a paint gelding, Rowan patted a bored goat behind the fence. I swallowed each small cut. When an urgent client call buzzed my pocket, I took it inside the house, pacing the hallway I grew up in, pretending I couldn't feel the old wallpaper under my palm. When I came back out, Rowan was on the back steps, feet together, hands empty. Her paper plate was missing. "They skipped me," she said. Not crying, not whining, just reporting. The heat rose up behind my eyes. Inside, through the kitchen screen, I heard my mother's voice. "I told you, she doesn't belong at this family party." I lifted my phone and hit record. 30 seconds of audio. Her tone, her words, the clink of dishes in the background. Evidence. We left before sundown. I buckled Rowan in, her handmade card to Parker still in my bag. As I reversed down the long gravel drive, a plan formed with the same clarity I used to draw straight lines with a ruler. That night, after Rowan fell asleep, I sat on the couch and listened to the clip again. My mother's voice snapped shut like a lid. I forwarded the recording and the PTA attachment to Lisa Hart, my contracting lawyer and unofficial emergency exit. By morning, Lisa had traced thousands in reimbursements from PTA funds to Lorna's personal account. "This is serious," she said. "If the board pushes it, we're talking felony. You want confrontation or a quiet fall?" "Clean removal," I said. "No scenes. Rowan first." A week later, the community fundraiser filled the school gym. Balloons, sheet cake, families in their weekend best. Lorna stood at the microphone in a blazer a shade too bright, talking about trust and shared values and our kids' future, like she owned the phrase. I waited by the exit with my laptop open, an email drafted. Subject line: PTA transparency. Body 3 sentences. The audio file, the ledger trail, numbers highlighted in yellow. When the applause peaked, I hit send to the board, the principal, the district's generic oversight address. Phones buzzed almost instantly, heads bent over screens. A father replayed the audio, eyes narrowing. A teacher scrolled and matched totals with the printed budget taped to the wall. The superintendent arrived without fanfare, face unreadable. Across the room, Lorna's bright smile held, then faltered as people stopped clapping and started watching. I slipped out before anyone could ask me to explain. By the next morning, the board had suspended her and demanded repayment. The district sent out a careful email about financial irregularities and commitment to transparency. My father called, his voice rough. "Your mother's upset," he said. "Lorna will make it right. She's not who we thought." "I know," I said. I didn't explain that I wasn't just talking about Lorna. I made pancakes for Rowan and carried them out to the little apartment balcony, Boise sun spreading across the concrete like a blessing. We ate cross-legged, syrup on our fingers. "Are you mad about the party?" she asked. "I'm making sure it doesn't happen again," I said, "and you belong with or without a chair at anyone's table." After that, we chose distance like we were choosing a new country. No more ranch. I blocked numbers. I kept the video, the email trail, and more importantly, my peace. Work filled the space that opened. I landed a boutique hotel project downtown and signed the designs with my own name, no husband's last initial trailing behind. Rowan helped pick fabric swatches and lamp shapes, serious and delighted. On the first day of her new school year, she pinned a little enamel badge to her backpack that said, "I belong." She tapped it before walking into class, a tiny ritual, like a law she'd written for herself. Sometimes, grief shows up dressed as tradition, asking you to keep sitting at the table that breaks you. I decided I was done mistaking obligation for love. I set down the story where blood outranks kindness. I kept the kid, I kept the work. I kept the Idaho light slanting through our windows, the one constant that has never asked me to earn it. When Rowan asks about family now, I point to us 2 people at a small table laughing over pancakes and say, "This is real. The ones who stay, the ones who see you, that's family."